Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, January 19th, and I wanted to talk today about books. Quite possibly the most significant thing that's changed in my life over the last 4 years is my ability to think. It's obvious that my thirst for knowledge is greatly improved as opposed to the last few years of my life. I was a horrible student. I had trouble paying attention, and it seems over the last 4 years I have completely reversed that, and now I just want to know why. I love knowing things and figuring things out for myself, for the people I'm helping, and a lot of people right now are asking me how I help other people, and this might kick it off because I've read a lot of books over the last few years, and I have rounded it to my top three non-carnivore books that have kind of helped me get to the place I'm at. And I want to know what your top book or any books that have influenced you. Let me know in the comments below what books have greatly influenced you to make that change and to start your journey off. Like always, this is Anthony Stewart. This is Food for Thought. We are questioning everything they've ever said. And today, this is my top three books that can help somebody get to a better place. Now, there are three books, and all have valid reasons to, depending on where you're at with your diet, with your lifestyle. But these books will help anybody come to grips with what the problems are out there. Now, the first one, there's no question metabolic health is at the forefront of health. So this guy is popular among the low-carb space, at least, and popular around the health and wellness space. He studies insulin. His name is Ben Bikman, and he's out of Brigham Young University, and the book is called Why We Get Sick. And this is about insulin and how insulin resistance can be traced or linked to almost every single chronic disease. And he puts it all into very simple English. It's not overcomplicated, but if you want to understand metabolism, this is a great book to start. It doesn't go deep into science. He keeps it really, really understandable. And Why We Get Sick is probably number one on my list for anybody who doesn't believe that metabolic health is of the utmost importance. And you'll notice these books aren't carnivore books. I have read a few books on carnivores, but these books help me actually decide to go carnivore in a roundabout sort of way. And the funny thing is the underlying factor of all these books, they all preach or project keeping insulin down. So there's a lot of ways to do it, but the most important thing is your insulin working for you, not against you. Now, the second book, this is very basic. It's the Protein to Energy Diet by Dr. Ted Naiman and William Shufelt. And Dr. Ted Naiman is a clinical, I think he's a GP. He has a practice, and he sees patients, and he's got his way. He's shredded, he's ripped, he's in shape, and he breaks it down in this book, Protein and Energy Diet, to coming down to protein and energy. Now, he explains with great detail all the pictures are sort of guides to show you how the protein to energy ratio is important. And I've found in the people that I've been helping, and myself included, finding that protein fat, for me, the ratio, and it explains how carbohydrates, I believe, my opinion, that, we don't need carbohydrates. And I mean, it's pretty much proven they're non-essential nutrients. So you don't need ever to have carbohydrates. We have gluconeogenesis. But the Protein Energy Diet book really lays out satiety, insulin, and shows how different energy can affect satiety and hunger signals. So it goes into a little bit of science, but it's a lot of just a guideline, and it's a great book to sort of take it to the next level with your diet, to choose your own adventure, basically. So that's number 2. Number 3, this is the probably most profound book I've ever read, and it lays the smackdown on processed food. And if you haven't heard of him, his name is Dr. Robert Lustig, out of UCSF, and his clinical research or his studies on fructose and the effects of fructose specifically on kids. He's a pediatric endocrinologist, and you can tell that he just cares. And he breaks the whole house of cards down when it comes to processed food. A few things to take away from this book. And this gets deep. This goes really sciencey. This goes really matter-of-factly. It breaks down FDA, preservatives, and what he basically says is, this is what I take away from it, is nutrition is nutrition. It's not what's on the package. It's what happens between your mouth and your cells. So I think you've heard me say that before, and that was from his book. He also says it's not the food. It's what's been done to the food that can have the biggest impact. Another thing he says is protect the liver, feed your gut. Now, these aren't carnivore books. These are books that are very broad, and Robert Lustig has basically come out and said he is diet agnostic. He does not believe in one certain way. But the way he dissects the medical industry, the food industry, big food, big pharma, and explains how processed food is literally destroying humanity in these modern times. There's a lot of great things in this book. Now, this is a tough read, but it's very warranted. And if there was one book that I wish everybody in the world would read, it's Metabolical. I think it's got so much value because it just can wake you up to the fact that they're not on our side. Processed food, ultra processed, hyper palatable food is the enemy. Now, whichever way you go, whichever way you decide, this book can help you take the power back. And I have a lot of honorable mentions that I'll post below. I'll post all the links to in the description. That's it for today. Those are my top 3 books. Why We Get Sick, Dr. Ben Bickman. The Protein Energy Diet by Dr. Ted Naiman and William Shufelt, and Metabolical by Dr. Robert Lustig. If you're trying to help somebody get into the space and maybe wake up to the fact that we are not in control of what the information they tell us and everything, there's so many different aspects of it. I just wanted to share those top 3 books, in my opinion. Like always, stay strong.